everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'd like to show you how I made this card. It's called a winged pop-up card, and it stands up really nicely like this, but it folds in flat and will fit into a regular envelope. So they're a regular, that's European sizing, 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. It's easy to adjust this if you want to make it for the other sizes. All you have to do is bring it down to your 5 1/2 inches if you want to make it for American sizes, which means you need to bring down the size of the DSP and the border stuff. I've got a writing panel in the middle at the back like that. Some people I've seen done it and they've just put a writing panel on one of these sides, but I thought, no, I wanted to put my writing panel so it's a little bit bigger in the back like that. So it stands up like this. It looks gorgeous. It does lay flat. It is a tiny bit more bulkier than a normal card, but not too bad. So let me show you how what I'm using. So I'm going to be using a set that is now retired, which is called Charming Ducks, only because I wanted the happy birthday and have a lovely day on it. And I'm going to be stamping in Mossy Meadow. I'm also going to be using the 2025-27 in colour flat pearls, because we're going to be using these Timid Tiger ones. And I'm using this punch called Pick a Punch banners, because I've already done it, and I've punched that out already. So this is what you need. I've got a bit of this Timid Tiger ribbon too, which I've made into a bow. I haven't finished the ends off yet because we don't know how long we want them. So pop that on one side, and we'll go through what we need. Alright, so you're going to need a piece of card that measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/8, not 8 1/4, 8 1/8. So you need to take that 1/8 off the end of a regular card, or if you're using letter card, you will cut it off that end as well. Alright, so then you will need 4 pieces of card, which I've got here, and I've glued 3 of them together already. So you need 4 pieces that measure 5 5/8 by 1 3/4, and your DSP, which will be 5 3/8 by 1 1/2. So we'll need 4 of those. Let's pop them over there. Then you'll need 1 piece for the middle section, so that's for the sides, that measures 5 5/8 by 1 7/8, and a piece of DSP that measures 5 3/8 by 1 5/8. I think I've popped them around the wrong way. Yep, that's it. Okay, then you'll need 4 pieces of card, and I've done 3 out of the 4. You'll need 4 pieces of card, the same colour as the main card, that measure 2 inches by 2 inches. And then you'll need 4 pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 pieces of DSP that measure 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. Now I've already put 3 together, so there's only 1 for us to do. So let's pop them on one side. Now you'll need 2 pieces that I call small cubes, or I don't know what to call them. What did I do with the card? What did I do with the card? Here we go. Behind the card, I don't know if you can see, it's because it's being dark, you might be able to see it on that angle more. You've got this little cubey thing here that holds this winged piece on. So you'll need 2 of those, and they measure 2 inches by 1 1/2 inches. And then you want a writing panel, which is 1 7/8 by 5 5/8. I've already done my tag for the front. So this came out of a piece of card that was 3 inches by 3 1/4 inches by 1 inch, and this piece came out of 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so we're going to start by scoring our main piece of card. So let's bring in the trusty scoring board, and we're going to score with the small ball as always, and I'll need to bring that over here so I can read what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to score on the long side, which is the 8 1/8 side, at 2 inches. 3 inches, 5 1/8. Oops, I went off a bit there. 5 1/8 and 6 1/8. Or you could do 2, 3, turn it around, 2, 3. And I'm just going to pop my over here and use my large ball just to push that out a little bit. Not that it will get seen because we're going to have a panel on the front and on the back. Okay, so that's all the scoring we're going to do. So let's pop this out of the way, and we're going to score this at the second score line as a mountain fold. I'm going to do the same on the other one. Second fold as a mountain fold, and then we're going to push the other one back as the first fold as a valley fold. With that one, we'll bring this one in, and we're going to fold that one back that way. So we've got our main shape of our card now, like so. So once we've done that, we can then press that down nice and firm, so we know that it's going to be nice and firm down like so. Alright. So that's our main card, and then we're going to bring in our pieces that measure the 5 5/8 by 1 3/4 and the 5 3/8 by 1 1/2. And we're going to glue all of those layers together. So that's layer 1 and layer 2. Once we've done that, we will then pop them layers, and just making sure that you put them, if you've got directional paper, that you put them all the same way, and they need to be in the portrait style. I think I need to fill up my glue bottle. So I'm going to pop one on this side here. Move over, there we go. One on the other side. I'm going to turn it over so that we've got those go in the same direction, like, because if you've got directional paper, you need to make sure that the ones on the back are the same direction as the ones on the front. And we're going to glue them on again in the same spot. Making sure I haven't picked up the wrong one. Nope, that's good. There's only a very tiny little bit difference. Okay, so we've got all of those on. Let's give them a nice good squash down like so. Turn over. There we go. So now we're going to put our middle one on, which is the one that is 5 5/8 by 1 7/8 and 5 3/8 by 1 5/8. So it's just that tiny little bit bigger. And this is going to go in the center there, right in the middle there. So making sure once again that it's the same direction with your DSP. And if you don't know what DSP means because you're new to the video and the card making, DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. Okay, so that's our main card done. So what we're now going to do is we're going to bring in our two pieces of that we call in the cube sides. I don't know what else I'm going to call it. I think I've put them down as supports on my written tutorial. So we're going to score these. So we're bringing in the scoreboard, and we're going to score these on the long side, which is the 2-inch side, and we're scoring these at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. So I'm going to do that on both of them. So 2-inch line, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to move them out now. We're going to actually fold and burnish these. So we want to fold these in the middle so that we know that they meet along these edges here. So we're going to do that one first, and then we can pop the other ones in either side. Oh, I forgot to bring over some tape. I'll have to go and get that. Actually, no, I won't bring over some tape. I will actually glue these in place today. But you could use tape, but you need to use red liner tape if you're using tape, because normal double-sided tape is not strong enough. So we're going to bring in our card again, and what we're going to do is we need to know which is the top. So if you've got a directional paper, you need to know which is the top, and we're going to turn this on the side, and we're using a pencil and a ruler, and we're just going to mark down the side on this edge, this score line here. We're going to mark down 2 inches, and it doesn't matter because we won't see that. Okay, so then we're going to turn this over here, and we're going to do it the same again. We're going to pop that in there. I'm going to put that 2-inch mark just there. Now that is just a guide. If you want to eyeball it, that's fine, but I don't like to eyeball. So what we're going to do is these are actually going to glue onto here, well, onto here, this side, and that's going to come across like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue down this side here. Now we need to do it on the opening. The piece that's open is the open edge is the piece that we're going to put the glue on. And you need to make sure you've got a nice bit of glue so that it will glue into place. And we're going to go just above that 2-inch mark, but up to the score line. So we've butted it up against that score line. So I'm going to close that up like that so that it pushes down nicely, and then we know that it's butted up against that score line. Once we've done that, we're then going to pop some more glue onto this bit, which is the other open side, and we're going to bring that across and glue that into place. So we're going to pop that down nice and tight like so. So we get that, as you can see now, you've got like this little square tubey bit there, but I think I'm pretty sure I've called that a support in the video, written tutorial. So we're going to do exactly the same again. We're going to bring this open, making sure we've got the open edges, and we're going to pop the glue on one of the open edges, and we're going to bring that across like so, so that we can just pop it just above the mark that you've made, but butt it up against this score line. Once we've done that, we can bring that down and pop that down tight like so. Once we're happy with that, we can open it up again and pop a little bit of glue. Now you could have done these the same colour as your main card, but they're not going to be seen, so it doesn't really matter. If you've got a bit of scrap white or whatever, you can pop that behind there. So once you've got that, you've got these two little things on the side like so. Can you see that? That's really good. Yep. Alright, so we'll pop them on there nice and tight. Okay, so we're going to pop that out of the way for a moment, and we're going to bring in our writing panel for the back, because it's easy to do that before we put the front bits on. So I'm going to bring in my say, which I've already done my happy birthday on the other one, which I'll glue together first while we're waiting. That way, I know I stamped it twice because I stamped it in the wrong spot on the other side, on this side. So I did it again. That's the beauty of having double-sided paper. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this just with that have a lovely day. I'm just going to pop that right in the middle there like so. That's all the stamping we're going to do because I've done my happy birthday. I'm going to glue that, and making sure again that we've got our direction the same way. I'm going to glue that into the section there in the middle. Writing is easier, even if it's a little bit bumpy, than when you actually want to glue something in place. So it's always better to put the bits in first. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to glue all 4 of these triangle squares together. So we've got the 2-inch square, the 1 3/4-inch square, and the DSP at 1.5 inch. So we're going to bring all of these in. And glue them all together like so. Gosh, I'm getting a bit mucky on the end of the glue pot there. So these are all going to go on as diamonds, so we need to look at them and see which ones don't look the best as diamonds. And they all look pretty good as diamonds, don't they? So we're going to pop one on one side and one on the other side. Once you've decided which one you want to put here and which one you're going to put in the middle, and then you're going to glue these 2 into place like so. So I'm going to turn this over once again, and I'm going to lay that flat like that, so I can then draw down here, keeping that roughly in the middle like so, and the same with this one. And I'm going to do the same time once I know, but I'm coming in so that I'm level with this DSP layer. And we're going to just pop our glue into that section between the pencil lines. You don't need to put your pencil lines really hard on there. It's just a guide, and then you're going to actually pop this down in here. I'm going to try it really hard to get that centralized. It's 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6, so we're going about there. So that needs to go over a tiny little bit like so. I'm going to pop that on the top. I'm going to bring that down this way too. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, yep, like so. And then I'm going to put some glue on this bit. You could measure it if you wanted to, but eyeballing is not so bad either. 1 2 3 4 5.5. Brings that back to there. I'll line that up with that bottom line and try and get these triangles fairly close to the top there, like so. Once you've done that, you've got your 2 fronts on. The one that you're going to put on the sides here, and this is the one I'm going to do that with. I'm going to do that one next. So we're going to pop that one out of the way, and we're going to bring in our trimmer, and we're going to pop this in the trimmer from corner to corner on the diagonal. Now you'll want to put your blade in the middle so that you don't ruffle up the edges. And we'll cut it in half. Okay, so this is going to go here and here like so. So we're going to just pop a little bit of glue on this section here while that's sticking up. And we're going to pop this in here so that it looks like it's in the middle, and it's not going to go over this edge, but it looks like it's in the middle between the 2. So I'm going to come down a tiny bit more, yep, like so. Whoops, I need to go up a tiny bit, that's better. Alright, and then we're going to turn this around the opposite way. And you're going to do exactly the same again. Now you could have come down a bit more than 2 inches if you wanted to with that. And we're going to try really hard to match this one up with the one on the other side. If you're happy with that, the way that's looking on the sides, yes, that looks pretty good to me. Then this one here is going to go in the centre like so. But this one I'm going to put up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to put my dimensionals just down the middle here, right down the centre. I'm putting them right down the centre. I could put a couple, maybe I'll put a couple more on there, put them out this side and this one. Oops, get off my finger. So that it's got a bit more stability. But you've got to remember that this is wider than your middle section, so you don't want to go over the top. I'm then going to try really hard to match this up with these and these ones. If you're happy with where it's sitting, just push it down like so, so you can have a look and see if that looks even to you. Just press it down, and we've got our main card done. So we're going to pop our little saying on the top here, and then I'm going to put my ribbon on and some little embellishments. So once again, you could put this up if you wanted to. I'm going to, because I will actually be hand delivering this card. So I'm going to pop, I don't want to go right out to the edge because this pops over the edge of the card. Oh, this did come off, I didn't think it did. Alright way, I pop that through the middle like so. Oops, it's not right in the centre, let's make sure it is. There we go, nicely in the centre. I'm going to cut this ribbon so that it's on a nice angle. Bring that one in so it matches up. And then get my glue dots wherever they may be. Oh, there they are, underneath there. To attach this to the card. To find the ends of them. There we go. Let's break that bit off and we'll be able to do this. So I find it easy to put these on like so, because I can then pop one just underneath here to bring that ribbon around a bit in place. And the same with this one. Bring that one around like that, so they sit down a bit more straighter that way. Then we can put some, no wonder that one didn't sit down. Didn't stick anywhere. It's still on me thingamajiggy. There we go. That's better. I thought that looked a bit weird. Okay, I'm going to put a few on here. Let's see if I can get them off. I can never get them to stick very well doing it this way, but we'll try today. Yep. Oh, they did, amazing. And I'm going to pop that just down there like so. And once again, I'm going to put a couple underneath these bits so that they stick down. And once again, it's still sticking to my tool instead of the... I'm wondering why it's not sticking down. Oh my goodness, pick up. This one's a bit longer. So let's move that one, cut that one up a bit. There we go. There we go. Got that out of the way. Alright, so then all we've got left to do now is actually put our embellishments on, and I'm going to use these Timid Tiger ones. Let's move that out of the way. Let's see, I think we use the smallish ones. I'm going to pop them on the saying on my tag, because I think that's where they need to be so that they stand out. So that's today's card. So what did you think? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. If you've enjoyed today's card, let me put the pin in my glue so that it doesn't dry up and I forget to put it in there. I know what I'm like for doing that. If you've enjoyed today's card and you'd like to know more about these products are current, these ones, obviously the stamp set isn't, but these products are. This is the Charming Day Designer Series paper. This paper has retired. These are still current. The cardstock is the new Timid Tiger, and I wasn't very keen on it at first, but it's really growing on me. I like it now. So if you'd like more information on the products, just PM me or email me and I will help you with that. If you'd like the written tutorial for this, head down below to Die Stand for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorial. That's my Facebook group. You do have to be a member to access the tutorial. And if you are happy with this, please give me a thumbs up. I love to hear from you. Leave me a comment and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.